Hello crafters! Welcome to my channel, Always Time to Craft. I'm Trish, and I'll be showing you today the cards that I did with the Cards with Creativity online retreat on March 31st and April 1st, 2023. I hope you'll get some of your own supplies together and join in with me. Let's get started. I'd like to show you the supplies I'll be using today. The stamp set that I'm featuring is the Photopolymer Stamp Set Easter Bunny. And we're going to use this cute little bunny right here. And we're going to be making a friendship card. So to make it a friendship card, I'm going to join it in with the Cup of Tea stamp set and use this Thank You for Your Friendship. I'm also going to be using the dies from the Cup of Tea, and I'm going to be using this overlay on a teacup. We'll be using some of the flowers, and then we'll also be using the leaves, the clump of leaves. We're going to kind of make this an Alice in Wonderland card. Out of what I consider a must-have die set, Stylish Shapes, we're going to use this for our sentiment, and we're going to use this for our feature. We're going to use 4 different prints from the bouquet of the tea bouquet, excuse me, and we're going to use the dark one, the light one, the grass. We're going to use to die cut the element, the grass, and we're going to use this piece for our background. We're also going to need a window sheet, which is an acrylic sheet, and I'm going to show you. You'll need a block for your stamps, some black ink, and some Tombow liquid glue, because that's what I like to use. For the stamping, you want to get a nice flexible surface. We have the a pad, Stampin' Mat, and then I always cover it with a little piece of grid paper so that I don't get my mat dirty between projects. And we're going to stamp the Easter Bunny. You're going to have cut, I put these measurements out here so you could see them in case you didn't have your tutorial ready, but the card base will be 5.5 by 8.5. Then you're going to need 4 pieces of DSP, 2 from the dark and 2 from the light, and those are cut 1 1/8 to 4 1/8. Then you're going to cut a piece of DSP 2 7/8 by 4 1/8, and this is your focal piece in the middle. This is the front, this is the back of the card. Then you're going to use 1 piece of Whisper White. You're going to need a half of a sheet of cardstock for the whole project. But what you're going to do is you're going to take 1/2 and trim it to 4 by 5 1/4. But then you're going to use the other half. I guess this is the other half. And you're going to stamp your bunny. Cut your circle, which I think I have a circle here somewhere. And then you're going to cut your other die cut. So I've got your 3 pieces will come out of this one. And then we'll put these off to the side. Now your half a piece of your cardstock base is a half a piece. I used Fresh Freesia, which is just beautiful with these papers. And first we're going to score it. You can use your score on your cutter, or I just sometimes like to use a bone folder. So we're going to cut that crease, or not cut that crease, make the crease, and then you're going to cut. So this is where we start forming our fancy fold card. So you're going to want to open it up and place it on your cutter at 1 1/4. And you're going to cut My blade just popped out. Okay, let me get it back in. You're going to cut from the bottom just to the score line. Got a piece of sticky right there. Let's see if I can move this so you can see a little better. So 4 1/4, and we're going to cut up to that, or sorry, 1 1/4, and we're going to cut to 4 1/4, which is all the way up to the score. And I like to just do it really slow and take my time and make sure I make it to my score. And then you're going to go on the other side at 1 1/4, and you could do that by flipping over your cardstock, or you can just go to the other side, which I was just about to do, but I'll go ahead and just flip it over. It really doesn't matter. All right, so now we've prepped these pieces for the sections of the fold of our card. All right, you can put your cutter away. Now, I like to assemble my pieces as I go along, especially when I'm using liquid glue. And when I'm using liquid glue, I like to bring in my silicone craft mat so I don't get sticky everywhere. And you're going to put the overlay onto the little cup. You can also choose to just stamp the cup. So I've stamped it here in Fresh Freesia so you can see that too. The card I made, you'll see, has the overlay. And for this little bunny, he is just so adorable. And I couldn't really decide where I wanted to put him, if I wanted to put him in the teacup, outside the teacup. So you can choose that for yourself. But go ahead and stamp your sentiment on your banner and your bunny. And then you want to fussy cut him out. This little bunny does not have a punch, but there is a punch that matches one of his little brother bunnies. I will be using the punch in my very next project, so you'll be able to use the punch if you have it. If not, you can use the stamped image and cut it out by hand. So this is a very easy fussy cut. It's not as fussy as some stamps. It has really smooth cutting lines. And when you're using you really want to move your paper and not so much your scissors. So there he goes. He's all punched out. He's really cute. Now, I like white bunnies. If you want your bunnies colored, you could choose to color your bunnies if you wanted to. I decided that my bunny would be white, and I would just use my blender pen, and I would just color the insides of his ears and maybe the tip of his little pink nose. If his feet were going to show, you could do his feet. His feet are not going to show on my card, but if you want him to hop out of that teacup, you might want to do his little toes there too, his little pads. And I am using Petal Pink blender pens for that. So there's a little bunny. He's ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the assembly of the card, which is fairly easy. This is the only trick, and I'm going to turn it around so hopefully you can see it the way you need to see it. You're going to take your window sheet, and this is very important that you do this step first. I tend to sometimes forget to do this step first, and then I have to go and backtrack. We're going to take some tear and tape because we're working with plastic, and you're going to tear a piece, and you're just going to put it on the bottom of the side. And that, I love tear and tape because you can just tear it. And you don't have to always use the scissors and get your scissors all sticky. So we're going to put it at the bottom. And I think I'm going to go ahead and just do 2 just to make sure that this guy doesn't go anywhere. All right, so your card should look like this. And then we're going to go ahead and put the put it on. But before we put it on, we're going to put on our background here. So we're going to use some of our glue. And I love glue because you can really take your time and straighten everything up, wiggle it a little bit and get it in there. So we're going to put that on, and then we're going to go ahead and put down our little sentiment, and we are not popping this up, and I'm going to show you why in a second. So we're going to put that on the bottom. So your card should look like this. We're going to flip this down, and we haven't decorated these sides yet. We're going to take off the tape, and we're going to put on our clear, and this is why it's called a spanner, because this clear window sheet is spanning this. So there we go. So now that we have that, now we can come and get the two strips that we prepared for either side. And because it's going over plastic, and glue and plastic doesn't always glue together, I'm going to go ahead and again put two sticky strips on the top there, and two sticky strips on this side. And we're going to be using glue too, but I just want to make sure it doesn't lift off that plastic. And then we're going to use some glue, and you can glue the paper, or you can glue the background paper, the DSP. Oop. I'm a scissors girl, kind of tool user. I use a scissors for everything, so I'm just going to lift these up with the scissors. But I should get my take your pick tool out. All right, so again, the glue is a little forgiving, so you don't have to hurry too much. But we're going to go ahead and, so now our card lifts up like this. So we have this little piece here. Okay, now we're going to do the inside, and we're going to lay down our sheet first. So this will be for our inside decorations. We're going to put a little surprise in our card I haven't told you about yet. And so then we need some accent pieces, and you could use the teacups if you liked them. I just thought the dark was a nice contrast for what I'm planning on doing on the inside. So what we've just created in just about 15 minutes is a fancy fold card. We haven't finished our main piece, but I want to go ahead and show you how you can decorate the inside of this card. So remember the bunny that went with the punch. If you don't have the punch, you just give him a cut. And for this card, I decided just to cut him out. So, since it says thank you for your friendship, and the stamp set has such a cute friendship sayings, the teacup, it's one of my favorites in the catalog. It's in the main catalog. And it has a saying, says, let's get together soon. And I think everybody probably has a friend that they haven't seen in a while that they'd like to get together with. So this is like a perfect little card to send. Thank you for being my friend, and let's get together soon. So I went ahead and, of course, you got to make sure you give him a little ear color because you did the other one. I always like to give it a little bit on his nose too. And then we're going to put a little glue on him. And we're going to put him on the inside of the card toward the bottom. And then I'm going to get into the cup of tea stamps. And this just makes such a cute and easy card. Use my block, put my stamp down. And I always use Memento Tuxedo Black. I love this black. So we're gonna say, let's get together soon. And then another cute stamp in the stamp set is there's a little butterfly. So, oh, actually it's in the Easter Bunny stamp set. I was like looking for him and going, where did he go? He's in the, so we're going to use the butterfly. And I'll just switch this out real quick. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp him into black. And I'm just going to stamp them because that way the bunny has a buddy. And I'm going to go ahead and use mint macaron for my butterfly with a little pink.
There are several streamers that call him.
So I'm just going to color him really quick. Give him a little green, a little pink. So now that inside is done. All right, so now you've got this, okay? So there's still another bunny in this stamp set. I'm trying to find him. My bunny just hopped away. Well, we'll just stamp another one, won't we? All right. I am a messy stamper, if you can't tell already. So we've got our last bunny, and he looks like this. We'll put our butterfly back in our box. We'll stamp a bunny really quick. And again, I probably want to be using my pad. When you have a pad, when you have rubber stamps, they already have a pad. But when you have polymer stamps, they don't. So you give them the pad. So that is the reasoning behind that. And you see, it looks so pretty and crisp when you do that. So I'm going to give him a fussy cut too. But I'm not going to put him in yet. So I'm going to put him off to the side just a second while we finish our centerpiece. So let me put him off to the side for just a second. So we are going to take, all right, I had all the pieces. You have all the pieces and then they hop away. We are going to be making a little centerpiece, and this is an alternative. You can put him next to the cup, or you can put him in the cup. So I'm going to put him in the cup. So to put him in the cup, I'm going to go ahead and cut him like this so that I can put his little arms hanging over the cup. Oop. There he is. So he's so cute. He's on the back. So I'm going to just give him a little glue. This whole thing will be popped up, but not yet. Gave him a little bit too much glue. And then we're going to put his grass, because he's got a little grass. So again, we're going to just use a little bit of glue. And you could stamp these grasses and then cut them out, but I just thought this paper was kind of cute. So here he is. All right, but he just needs a little something something. So I had cut out some of these blossoms with some of the paper scraps I have and the colors that are in this. And I'm going to put a couple of these on, not too many, but just a couple. And let's put one over here. And maybe let's put a tiny one over here. This is the part I like the best of creating, is creating a masterpiece. All right, put him. Let's put it kind of so it sticks out behind him. And then we have these really cute blingy things. And so I thought, well, I have to use some of these too. So I'm going to use an orange one in the center of this flower. And maybe I'll put this bright green one here. And then maybe, I don't know, maybe a purple one over here. And maybe let's see, a blue one. Maybe a blue one over here. All right, let me doll them all up here. Cut out of that large die from Stylish Dies. Here is our bunny, and he's sweet. I love him. And now we're going to get our dimensionals, also known as pop dots. They're not really dots, so I never could figure out why they called them that. So, and I like to make sure that my entire item is popped out, so I like to go around the outside, sometimes put one in the middle. And again, you can do this with take your pick tool. I happen to have a nail thing going on. All right, and there's our bunny. But you could also do him like this, so he can go in or he can go out. All right, now to put him on the card though, this is the tricky part, or a tip, is you're always going to want to make sure that he doesn't cut, hide your saying, so you want to put him up a little bit. And then you also want to make sure you don't put the glue so that he sticks down like a two-dimensional card. So what I like to do is make myself just a little mark. It can be just like a fingernail mark that nobody else is going to see. And then I'm going to go ahead and go back to the sticky strip, because this is going to a movable card. It's going to be opened, and I don't want that bunny flying off. So I look where my mark was that I made a little crease, and then I'm just going to put the sticky strip to the other side of that mark, so I know that it's not going to stick out. So I'll just put a big piece and a little piece, and again pull that off. There's a little piece that's stuck behind. Alrighty, so let's close it up again, and then make sure it's coming away from our saying, and the back should be fine because I paid attention to that. Just doing it upside down is a little weird. So I hope he's straight. Yep, he looks good. So here's our first layer. There's our second one. But what I'm going to do is put a peekaboo bunny in there. So let's get the other little bunny that we stamped earlier. Again, give him a pink ear because everybody else had a pink ear and a little pink nose. I used to have bunnies, so I'm very fond of bunnies. In fact, the first email address I ever had was Bunny Lady, Mrs. Bunny Lady, because I was the 4-H rabbit leader, and they called me Mrs. Bunny. So, again, he's really easy to fussy cut out. Even if you don't like fussy cutting, I'm not even like really taking my time, and he is so easy to cut out. And he's just so cute. So when I put him inside, though, I'm going to make sure that I hide him so he can be a surprise. So I'm going to put him where that circle goes. So again, I put him down there, and then I get my glue. And if you wanted to pop him up, I think you could probably pop him up too, but I'm going to go ahead. And he just looks so like he's having so much fun in the little teacups there. Oh, you can see I didn't do him straight because since I did them upside down. All right, there he goes. So again, we've got front, middle, and now back. And this is called a spanner fold card. And you can use just the teacups. There's this almost the same card with just the teacups. And then here's another card with a bunny that I did. And then you could always put your bunny on the outside of the card like that too. He's cute like that too. So there you go. There's your bunny cards. So I hope you enjoyed the spanner card, and I hope you come back and watch the next video and see me make an Easter basket for this Easter bunny. Thanks for watching.